Well, hello everyone on this absolutely gorgeous day in Florida. We have a wonderful breeze. I definitely need to go out in the sun after the podcast. This is Toni Weel. We have with us Sara from Virtuous Unicorns. We have Katie Meert. Of course, we have Gary Parent too. And then we have two guests with us, Susan and Donna.
The end of the eyebrow here.
And somebody needs to mute themselves. I think, Susan, you need to
Right
mute.
underneath the nose, underneath the bottom lip, okay? And right at the collarbones.
Okay, Susan, are you listening to another?
I don't.
Okay, I've muted you now. I will unmute you later on. Thanks. All right, we were going to talk about pain. Now, why did I come up with that topic of pain? I had a fall last week, and well, that was actually quite dramatic because I was in so much pain that if we would ask, oh, what is it, 1 to 10? I would say it is a big fat 10 plus. It was really that bad. And I was looking at, oh my gosh, what can I use? First thing that I always do when I don't feel well is starting the deep breathing, and then it was to refrain from all food, just drink water, no food, give the body the energy to heal. But in the meantime, I was in that 10 plus pain. And the neighbor came with Tylenol, and I was like, can I take Tylenol? No, that's all chemical. I don't want to take Tylenol, but that pain. And I got to a point, I would probably have taken anything and everything that you would put in front of me. It was so bad. It was really, really bad. And the first night I couldn't sleep and or move, and my husband had to stay home from work because I could barely move or do anything. Yeah, but the fall was I fell on my butt hard on the concrete floor because I have a concrete floor in my office. So, and I thought, well, it could be the kidneys, it could be the spine. Nothing was broken because everything could still move. So it could be the tendons, the muscles, and I talked to Gary about what to do, and he was with it. Take an ice bath. I think I mentioned that last week too. Well, that was too much torture. So that didn't want to go there. But then you start looking back, and it's like all the time that you had pain in your life, what did you do? And I've never been one for a painkiller. Not even when I broke upper femur and I had to have a hip replacement. They had to force me in the hospital to go on painkillers, otherwise I wouldn't have moved at all. So sometimes it can be a good thing to use it. And even Dr. Morse said, if you need it to be able to do the detox, yeah, you just use some painkiller so you can handle it all better because your mind is not anywhere often than the pain. And with Gary's suggestion that he gave me again was to breathe through it, and that absolutely does help. But then you have to keep doing it because you sit down or you lay down, and I'm still not 100%, or at least how I was before the fall. So I can been here in my office now for over 3 hours. I'm doing okay, and thank goodness for a recliner. That helped a lot. Anyway, I was thinking about, how do other people deal with it if you don't want to use the pharmaceuticals or opiates, and how do you handle it? And the responses came up like acupuncture and kratom. And I had a medical marijuana card and I cut it up. I was like, no, this is not for me. It's besides that it's too expensive. I didn't have the result I was hoping for. And this is before I even met Dr. Morse, so it's a long time ago. I think that when it just was approved in Florida. So anyway, didn't do that, didn't look at Kratom. Yeah, I looked it up because I had clients who were using it and I was not happy with what I read about it. So that would not be a great go-to. And with acupuncture was another one that came up. That could be great and relaxing for people. But what I'm looking at is that sometimes we have this pain and we look at all kinds of solutions to get rid of the pain. But in the meantime, we forget our diets. And I was fasting and I wanted a pizza. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Didn't do it, but because I know I would only hurt myself more. And it is like if you take anything, it's like because I remember my mother was her whole life on I don't know how you pronounce it in English. That's paracetamol. It's probably differently pronounced, but it's the same word in the Netherlands. And her whole life, that was a normal thing for her. And it's like, well, a painkiller should only be for a short time until whatever is going on in your body can be fixed. But we were never thinking about, can we fix this? And I know we have Donna with us today who suffers really bad with hives. And I have not experienced that pain, so I can imagine that that you would be, that you get desperate at some point. It's like, I tried everything and I see, a lot of advice that people are giving, and I'm like, oh no, don't put that on your skin. But you need something, and for it to go away. And so, Donna, I absolutely understand the misery that you are in. But we always go back to, and I think I mentioned it to Gary before we start going live, is, what do you do first? And I think every time it comes up, fast, do a water fast, even if it's only 3 days. And if I don't eat right, the psoriasis breaks out again. If I go on a water fast, it goes away mostly. It depends on how you come back to the what is it, the stress that you can have in your life. And believe me, we had a lot of stress in Florida and a lot of other parts of the country too, with all this weird weather, like wondering if you make it or not. So, and here comes the deep breathing again. Donna, would you like to tell us a little bit more about your situation?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Toni. Yeah, the hives started like in January. They were controllable. I didn't know what they were. I've never had hives before. They were itchy little red spots back then. And I believe I had at the time, and probably still do, have some anxiety, and been trying to work through some of that. And so my condition was not getting better. So I went to an allergist. That's what my primary care told me to do. They put me on antihistamines, which did help for a while. It was quite a bit. It was like 4 tablets of it, so 40 milligrams, but you took 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, with the instructions to cut back till eventually get off. Well, I never could get off. I got down to 1, and then all of a sudden I needed the 4 again, and now the 4 doesn't cut it. So yesterday I was supposed to go for a stress, or not a stress test, a scratch test to see about allergies. And you have to be off the antihistamine for 3 days. Well, during those 3 days, it was horrible, horrible. I was broken out so bad, so red, so itchy. My whole body was inflamed. And so of course they couldn't do the scratch test. So they sent me for some blood work to see what's going on there. So I had that going on. Then I went to my naturopath, who I really have had success working with some in the past. And she says that histamine is a neurotransmitter, which I didn't know. And so she is having me do a urine test to check out about, you know, what's going on with my neurotransmitters. Obviously, my body is making too much histamine. So it's having an issue with histamine. You see, I'm scratching now. I'm really trying not to scratch. And so, in thinking about being on a water fast, I got to tell you, I've done them before, but just taking, like, being off the meds that I was off and what my body was doing, I don't know. You know, I don't know if this is going to get, is it going to go through a cycle that if I'm fasting for a while, my skin's going to clear up, or is it just going to blister? Because it looked like it was about to blister. So that's all I got for you at this point. It's I'm trying, and then I've learned that there's a histamine diet, and I know, you know, I was vegetarian and fruit for a year. I didn't go on all fruit, but I have done all fruit at times, especially this summer. And but you know, you try different things to that hope that's going to do something. And I've done tapping, and I've done the, okay, what am I so pissed off about? I mean, obviously it's erupting on my skin, so I'm pissed off about something, possibly angry about something. I don't know. You just try to tackle it from many different ways. So thank you for listening.
Gary, would you
Toni,
like to respond to that?
well, I was gonna say, can I pop in real quick? And then,
Sara,
um,
of course.
hi, I am not a trained Dr. Morse person. I'm just here learning on the journey, but I was gonna make a suggestion, just kind of talking within the group, and then let them kind of see what they think about that. So I did hear that you did try the grape or the fruits, and then you were going vegetarian. That is kind of how I started out a very long time ago. But as if you listen to some of our shows, it's not so much what you know you're doing externally. It's going to be more what you're doing internally. It sounds like your adrenals definitely need to be worked on. That's where a lot of your anxiety comes from. That'll also elevate your cortisol levels. The anxiety and all that stuff like that can bring out hives, and I mean, it can wreak havoc on your body. So what I would do is I would maybe, now this is the part where I want them to kind of chime in, please, is continue your histamine to get it under control so you're not scratching and stressing yourself out even more while you're doing this process. And then start to wean yourself off of it. But in order to fix it, you're going to have to really dive in and work on your adrenals very hard. And that is going to look something like fruits, berries, and melons. A water fast is very hard. I have still yet to ever do one, but there are benefits to it. However, it really sounds like you need to fix your adrenals, and that you need to also work on maybe like your liver too, because I think, again, please someone else chime in, this is where a lot of your allergy stuff will also come from too, is your liver is just not able to process it or something like that. But that's kind of like what I wanted to chime in and say. But when I took that route and I was trying to take care of myself, my hives did go away. I was getting them every single night around like my wrists, around my stomach, around you know, just all that area. And that was when I was going through like a pretty good change in my life. And they came on, and they came on quick and strong. But when I did turn to my fruits and I just really start cutting out anything like nuts and avocados, which I've never been a big fan of, I started seeing a major improvement, and I still don't see any hives to this day.
So thank you for sharing, Sara. I didn't even know that about you.
That's very encouraging that you don't have hives to this day. That's very encouraging. And yes, I did go on my antihistamines yesterday because when I got done with that appointment, I was in just too much pain. So that was kind of my train of thought, try to get them under control and then look at the diet. And as someone just, you know, enlightened me that there is a histamine diet. There are certain fruits that are, you know, carry more histamine, like watermelon and bananas. And I was living off watermelon all summer long, but it's probably more to do with stress. I have a feeling it's probably, and then combination. and my body not working. Thank you, Sara, so much.
Absolutely. I've never heard anything about the watermelon though, but I don't know if it's in conjunction of something else that you were eating also with the watermelon, but it truly is not what extra you're putting in, it's what you're eliminating. And you really have to eliminate. And when you are really targeting something, that line is very thin of what you're going to be walking. You can't just be like, oh, I only have nuts once a week. That once a week nuts is really going to hurt you. So it is hard. I'm not going to tell you it's not hard, because it is to only be on fruit. But once you're there, then it becomes easy. So just, you got to climb up that mountain though. And it's hard to when you're up there, or climbing up, but once you get there, it's totally worth the view.
So I'd like to get into the emotional part. Because that, every breath is associated with an emotion. So being aware of how your breath is shifting during certain times of the day, certain sights, sounds, tastes, smells, how that is affecting your body. And fermented foods, probably shouldn't have any fermented foods. Can everybody hear me?
They hear you fine.
Okay. So I don't know that you want to get into it like right here, but it'd be good if you could. Because you're saying that you've had a lot of stress, and this started just a few months ago. So what happened that put that much stress on your body?
Yeah, my words would be, it was in January, and I just woke up and I had these dots on my stomach, and I didn't feel like at the time that I was under stress. But I think when you look back on your life, I think I have had underlying anxiety, linked to maybe a poverty consciousness, which I've been really working on all of my life. And kind of grew up in that there was never enough. I grew up in that. That was the household I grew up in, and I've been working my whole life to not combat that, but to calm that down, because I do have a strong spirituality, and I know that I have always been provided for. I mean, there's evidence of that in my life, but for some reason, this isn't moving on. It's not completely moving on for me. I don't know if that answers your question. I can't say that a specific thing happened. Like, well, I guess one thing that happened was that my former husband and we stayed friends our whole life. He got a diagnosis of Parkinson's, and then he ended up passing in April. And that wasn't easy. Still isn't easy. Sorry.
No, you got to let this stuff out. This is important to let it out, because the more you trap it inside you, the more it comes out as something like hives or some other thing, because you're not releasing it, and it's trapped in the body, and it's reducing your adrenals' ability to produce good energy. And that's what we're talking about with diet too, is allowing your body to clean itself out. But this issue with trauma over our lifetime gets stuck in our body, and we're not able to release it. And it comes in through the breath, and it can be released through the breath. And if you'd like to do that, I'd love to do that with you today, if you would like. Okay, so
Sure.
how much you say that there's never enough? How much would be enough?
How much? What would be enough? How much?
I don't know. You said that. I'm assuming it was finance, but there's never enough, is what you said,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. It was financial growing
Okay.
up. Yeah.
So how much would be enough?
Um, enough to feel safe, enough to feel all my needs could be met, that, I could, if I wanted to have a session with Toni, I could pay her for that. Yeah, just enough to be able to take care of um, day to day. I mean, I'm not poverty stricken. I mean, I'm fine. I have a car. I'm not homeless, and so many things I'm grateful for. So I don't know. That's a great question. Maybe that's something I need to sit down and journal about. Really.
So would 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year, $1 million a year, $10 million a year, would that be enough, or would you still feel like?
I got a feeling I'd probably still feel like it wasn't enough
Right?
just because of the
Is
programming.
that yes, that's your program, and
Yeah.
that was what I was getting to, and the loss of your ex-husband, uh, those change our breath, and we don't know how to correct it because we're not taught how to breathe, and we're not taught that. I mean, we're not taught that we don't have to be a scadzillionaire to feel secure, right? Because it is true. I have a friend that now this is going to kind of might take a weird turn, but I'll get back to it. Right? There's a junkyard. There's 600 acres of property he owns, and there's this little tiny gate in the front, right? And they can never bring enough cars through that gate to fill the void of those 600 acres. So when we look at that, our mind, right, is the gate, and our body is the 600 acres. And we can never get enough in here to satisfy what's going on inside us until we change our breath and our programming to a new program where it doesn't matter if there's a small gate, a big gate, how much land there is, right? Our emotions, once we control our emotions, we control our life. But there's voids in there until we change things that can never be filled. And one of those things is the financial security. Do you have any back pain or anything like that? Any lameness in your back, small of your back?
Yeah, I do. I get it, I go to the chiropractor and get adjusted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is um, the fear of lack of finance is in the lower part of your back. Okay. And it's an insecurity thing. Does the word insecurity mean a lot to you? Do you feel insecure?
Yes, I would say at times I do.
Okay.
I would say this is one of the times. Yeah.
Okay. Well, is it one of the times because we're talking about it?
No, it's
No.
one of the times because I've noticed that I don't seem to have the confidence that I've had in the past. I don't know if it's because I've got some kind of belief system about aging, or the little boo-boos that, the little pains I have in my knee, or whatever. The other day I had a situation where I took control of a situation, and it was something that I would have done years ago, and I was very successful at it, and I was very surprised I was successful at it. So yeah.
So being surprised that you were successful at it uh,
An
speaks
insecurity.
volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaks volumes because
Right.
you're not. Do you have any issues with your hips?
Um, Sometimes they go out like in the adjustment, but no, nothing specific.
Because
No.
that's the fear of moving forward.
Well, I think that I have a little bit of that too, you know. I retired, so I'm not exactly sure what to do with myself.
Aha.
Um,
And what did you do for work?
well, mostly I was a stay-at-home mom, but the last 7 or 8 years I worked in a school system with as a paraprofessional, working with some children that needed some assistance, extra help.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what did you learn from them?
Oh, I learned all kinds of things from them.
Mm-hmm.
To be happy and in the moment, for one thing. They're not thinking about anything else because I'm not even sure they're capable of, in some ways. And I mean, they were happy until they reached a point where they didn't know how to express themselves and, needed some help with, they would get a little overwhelmed, I guess, and
Okay.
so I would try to help them get in touch with expressing what's going on with them, kind of like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that, by the way. So, did you ever think that that's why you were teaching them, was so you could learn too?
Um, now that you bring it up, I'm sure of it because I cry real easy,
Uh-huh.
and I don't love that because
So,
it's away from. It's like I'm not. Um, Maybe it's a part of what you were talking about where I don't think the word you used was self-confidence. That's the word I used, but um to feel like I'm secure in making decisions, and but I've always been a problem solver, and I don't know. It's a circle. Keeps
I
going around.
Yeah, I was gonna say I cry very easily too, and from listening to all of them speak all the time, I'm 100% convinced it's my adrenals. So I've really been trying hard to work on those myself. But yeah, I'll cry over stories. I'll cry over just trying to explain something to somebody. I will cry easily myself, and it does. It feels very. And I'm a very confident person, but I still cry. Like I will cry, and yeah, and any funeral, I'm the one that's like sobbing the most, even if I don't know the person. It's just I can really put myself in the shoes of somebody else, like I feel terrible for them. So yeah, I'm a definite crier.
Well, and even in this situation, why should I be crying to answer a few questions?
It's
You
a lot of trapped emotion too. Hmm.
that's why it's so important to let it out. See, you're resisting the emotional release. Crying, the tears that come out have salt in it. Your emotions, you're overcharged. So when you cry, you're releasing the excess emotion that's associated with whatever it is you're thinking about, and you change your breath. It's right, and your breath is changing. If you're resisting it, you're holding it back and you're fighting it because you don't want to cry. But when you release it and you're think about this, your whole body is moving, your whole body is shaking, right? And the tears are coming down. You're taking the excess charge and releasing it through your tears, and you're releasing it through your breath. All emotion comes in the body through the breath, and all emotion is released from the body through the breath. That's why breathing is so powerful. And it's also why, as far as I'm concerned, we're never taught how to breathe. We're taught how to resist, how to hold something. As a guy, uh, you get called a crybaby or a weakling or a girl or whatever it was, right? That somebody could, because they're pressuring you to, in their mind, smarten up. And that's a lie. It's a big lie. And most men carry that. And it's hard for us to release because we don't want to be that person. And I cry all the time too, especially now. See, the more elevated we are vibrationally, the more sensitive we are to what's going on around us because we feel the energy in the room. Like when you were working with those students, okay, you could feel what was going on inside them, and that's how you were able to help them. And when you reverse that, they were showing you how to release also. But we don't normally take that position because we're there to help them. But we don't realize in helping them, we're helping ourselves. We're being exposed to certain emotional conditions and we can help them through it, but we're still stuck. And that's what, when we release that, that's what creates pain. You know, inflammation, the nerves need to, they like a nice, soft, very lubricant tissue to slide back and forth through. And the more tension there is, no matter what area of the body that is, when that tension starts, like making a fist, right? And it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. The tighter it gets, the more it hurts because the nerves are not able to slide back and forth through without being pulled on and stretched. And they don't like that. So as we reduce inflammation, which we can do through our breath, because we help the body and the mind calm down, we help to open the heart, then it reduces the pain. So some of the pain is so emotional and we run from it, we resist it so much that it just never goes away. So if you would like to work with this, and it's okay with the group that we do this, I would love to do some EFT and breath work with you right now. If you're ready to release, are you ready to release the resistance that you've experienced in your life?
Yes, I am ready to release the resistance I've experienced in my life.
All right. So we're going to start. Is it okay with the group if we do this?
But for me, it is. We have another guest on, and I would like to make sure that we have some time for her too.
Okay. We'll just do maybe 2 rounds real quick.
Okay.
And I have EFT videos that you can go watch. And it's more difficult if you're doing it, though, because the mind is so quick.
Did you say EFT, Emotional
Yeah.
Freedom Technique? Oh, I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah. And yeah, but have you had somebody else do it with you?
It's been a while, but
Okay.
I watch a lot of videos and do it, and I've taken certifications in it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a huge believer and practicer of EFT.
All right.
Sometimes I don't remember, but
So, and I don't typically do it the way other people do.
okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I involve breath,
Okay.
which I haven't seen anybody involve breath in their EFT things. I'm not saying that they don't do that. I'm just saying that I have not witnessed that. So we'll just do a couple of rounds here, and then when you play the video back, then you can keep doing the EFT on your own, because the mind will. Once you get to the point where you're really going to make a difference, the mind will shift the subject so that, or it'll do something so that you're not getting to the real point. All
Okay.
right. So we're going to go eyebrow, the inside of the eyebrow, outside, and then over on the outside, and under the eye, and under the nose, under the bottom lip, and then right on the collarbones.
No top of the head.
No, I feel more charge. Do you feel a charge right here? When
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
okay, because I can feel that too.
I
So I
sometimes
can,
will do this to just calm down. Like sometimes if I,
right,
yeah.
right. So this is the most important spot. I can feel you feeling that. Okay. So all right. So you're going to repeat after me.
Okay.
Even though I have this anxiety,
even though I have this anxiety,
and I don't totally know why,
and I don't totally know why,
I choose to let it go.
I choose to let it go.
It does not serve me,
It does not serve me.
never has served me.
It never has served me.
It was kind of a lie
It was kind of a lie
that I took on as truth.
that I took on as truth.
And I've carried that with me
And I've carried that with me
since I was a child.
since I was a child.
So in my awakening,
So in my awakening,
I choose to release it from my body.
I choose to release it from my body.
Okay. Nice deep breath through the nose and hold it. And when you exhale, just feel your whole body relax. This fear,
This fear,
this lack
this lack
never served me,
never served me,
never will serve me.
never will serve me.
It's only caused me sorrow and pain.
It's only costing me sorrow and pain.
So I let it go.
So I let it go.
It's coming up.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is it not wanting to go? That's why I'm coughing, or
No,
what?
no, you tell it. You tell it to get out. Get out of my body.
Get out of my body.
I don't need you anymore.
I don't need you anymore.
I never did need you.
I never did need you.
So I let it go.
So I let it go.
I can feel it leaving my body.
I can feel it leaving my body.
Inhale through the nose and hold it. And exhale, blow it out. Just blow it really hard. Blow it out. Whatever. Nope, don't go ahead. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Put your hand on your heart. And when you breathe, breathe into your heart. Energy flows where attention goes. Open your heart and know that it's safe to breathe. It's okay to breathe. Feels so good just to let go. I can feel my whole body start to calm down. As my body calms down, go ahead. As my
As,
body calms down,
as my body calms down,
it relaxes.
it relaxes.
With every breath I take,
With every breath I take,
my body relaxes.
my body relaxes
Deeper and deeper
deeper and deeper
into relaxation.
into relaxation.
My heart opens
My heart opens
and understands
and understands
that I'm okay,
that I'm okay,
that I am love.
that I am loved.
I feel love.
I feel love.
I am love.
I am loved.
I love the world
I love the world
and all things in it.
and all things in it.
With every ounce
With every ounce
of my being,
of my being,
to the very core
to the very core
of my soul,
of my soul,
I release my past.
I release my
Past.
past
As I step into the future.
as I step into the future
As a new being.
as a new being,
Full of light and love.
full of light and love.
Breathe in through the nose and hold it. And when you're ready, just relax and exhale. Feels so good just to let go.
It does.
So I'm going to let you sit with that and rest with that. And you can go back in this video and keep doing this over and over if you'd like. And just release all that stuff. Everything that happened to you and that you learned as a program was not who you are. And that's why you're resisting it, because you know it's not who you are and it's causing the pain. And it's time to be you, not what other people thought you should be, right? Because they have their own stuff they have to deal with. And they just passed it on to you when you didn't know how to defend yourself. Well, now you know how to defend yourself.
Right.
And keep breathing. Let's do one more breath in through the nose, hold, and then we exhale. Just go deeper into relaxation. Okay, inhale. And just feel your whole body relax.
I definitely have some issues with the breath because it makes me cough. It chokes me. It, like, when I
Yeah.
take a deep breath in, it's all I can do when I'm holding it, not to just have a coughing fit.
Right. You know what coughing is? Coughing is detox. 70% of your detox is through your breath.
Oh.
So you have emotions stuck there, right here, actually, right in your voice box.
Mhm.
So as you do that, you'll clear that. And as you clear that, the emotional charge will release. That's where it's stuck, is right there. That's why this right here is such an important point. I can feel it. So
Thank you very much for that. And thank you
thank
everybody
you.
for allowing us to do this together.
Yes.
Greatly
Okay.
Well, thank you, Donna and Gary, for this. It's emotional, but always very helpful. And I would like to go to Sue. Thank you for waiting so patiently, Sue. Oh, I need to unmute you. Hold on. I think I can do that. Maybe you need to unmute it.
That work?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, cool.
Are you in your new yoga studio?
Yeah, I'll give you a peek of my, I don't know if you can
Wow.
see the bowls back there.
Oh,
It's
beautiful.
coming together. Yeah, it's coming together.
Yeah, Sue had just finished it all, and her health has been taking a turn, and she's not doing too well. A lot of stagnated lymph, intense detox, and things are not going too well. And then on top of that, she has a lot of pain and is easily out of breath when walking upstairs, and she cannot do the yoga right now because her skin hurts so much, and with any stretches. So do you want to explain a little bit more? Because I just have some highlights from notes that I took when I was talking with you.
Sure thing, will do. So I just kind of, I entered this fruitarian lifestyle 10 years ago. Not because I had any health issues, but because I thought it was just a brilliant thing, you know? And as I went along, I was great. And then around 2015, I got anaplasmosis and Lyme and got a lot of body pain, and then started going into detoxing, going more deeply into detoxing. And I think it was 2 years ago, I just dug too deep, and it was really scary, and it was kind of like where I am right now. And I kind of let it all go, and I went to medical medium instead, because I was just like, screw it. I'm just gonna eat, I don't care. That didn't go well. So anyway, I went back to all through this past year. I've been eating only fruit for the past 8 months, working with a detox specialist. And again, I did the same thing. I have no problem not eating. I have no problem eating only fruit. I just went too deep and too long, and I didn't eat enough. And my detox specialist was able to talk to Dr. Morse about my case because I don't have much to move in my eyes anyway. And his indication was, she probably just needs to dig a little deeper to get that stagnant lymph out. And so for the past 2-3 months, I've been doing that. Last month was on lymphatic number 3 and 4, which were super intense, all grapes. And yeah, I hit a point where I just feel like I pulled so much. I've broken it down. I can feel it. Where it used to feel kind of globby and burny. It feels like little teeny particles. But it burns like heck. And my head's draining, and it's just excruciating burning pain. So I'm trying to back out of it right now, and slowly, and hopefully get some relief. So that's where I am right now. I can do yoga. I mean, I can stretch certain areas, but the areas that were kind of jammed up, and I know that the lymph is broken up, I can feel it almost like little teeny pieces of sand. Well, they don't hurt that much anymore, but it used to, like, I can feel a little burning on the outside of my arms and down here now. But Toni's been helping me for about a week, and I'm feeling less burning. I added in some green juices. I added a salad last night. I'm just kind of slowly backing out. So I'm just praying that I can back out enough that I can help this to go away and recover my adrenals. I've also been through a lot of stress in my life, and most recently,
Yeah, and you lost 30 pounds in the last 6 months,
yeah, I think I'm down to 7.
which is a lot for someone who was only weighing 100 pounds.
Yeah,
So,
I'm real thin. And what I was recommended was to do water fasting. I did some water fasts this past month. I did a lot of stuff. I just dug in real heavy. But what was going on at home? I have a son who's 34 that I care for that has schizoaffective disorder. It's schizophrenia and bipolar. And his doctor, he was doing very, very well. And this past year, his doctor had found out about a new ketogenic diet, which would allow him to go off his medication, and slowly started lowering him off his meds. So he became quite psychotic probably 6 months ago, and been living with that. And unfortunately, you can't get help until they become a danger to themselves or others, and they're dangerous enough. So while I've been going through all this, my son's also been, falling apart. But we did get him hospitalized last month, and he just came back home, and he's doing very well now. But it's scary stuff. I guess that's about it.
Gary, would you like to respond to that?
So you've been under a lot of stress your whole life.
Well, I grew up in a super abusive home. My dad was sexually abusive and physically abusive, and he actually kept us kind of, we lived off the grid so he could control everything. So I was the youngest, and my oldest brother became just like him, and he ended up getting murdered by his wife, and she committed suicide when I was probably about 16. And then in 2016, my brother Jeffy died from pancreatic cancer. And a month later, my other brother, who had schizophrenia and was homeless most of his life, was tortured and beaten for like 3 days by a group of homeless people in San Francisco. And he was murdered. He was drowned in Golden Gate Park. And my sister is just constantly trying to commit suicide and an alcoholic. And so and my mom had Alzheimer's and I was her guardian for 11 years. And my daughter also had mental illness. So yeah, it's been a lot of stress.
Mhm.
Stress.
So so you teach yoga. Do you teach breath? Do you teach breath with that?
No, I do. I'm very I know all the right things to do. And even with the detox, it's like my detox specialist is like, go, Sue, you're doing great, but no, I'm kind of dying here, And if I do soften all my muscles and relax, I can let all the pain kind of fade away.
Right.
The adrenal thing I've never had before though, where it's kind of hard to get up the stairs and I feel my heart pounding and dizzy, and I just this the burning in the tissues is stressful because I feel like it's uncomfortable to do some of the yoga stuff that I know would be helpful. I do have a cold plunge and I have a sauna. I've taken a couple days off from that just because the adrenal thing, I was a little worried about pushing it too much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we push our bodies in so many ways we're not even aware of.
Right.
So many times to get rid of stress, we go into things that cause stress.
Right.
And if it's okay with the group, I keep going back to EFT, but I would love to do. Have you ever done EFT?
No.
No,
No.
because it's an emotional freedom technique, and it'll end a lot of what it does is it changes the breath about a certain situation. You still have the memory, but you don't have the emotional reaction to it, because this is all going on from the time you were not old enough to defend yourself or strong enough to defend yourself. And I am so proud of you for choosing to teach yoga instead of, going to drugs and alcohol and all the trauma that's happened in the rest of your family. And I don't know this for a fact, but I would assume that your father was abused when he was young, because usually there's a chain, right?
Like,
And
my dad was like 13. His father beat him every day. My dad was 13. On his birthday, he came home and found his dad had shot himself in the head. So there's just so much like mental illness and suicide. And then he spent like a year and a half in a German prison camp in World War II. So he was messed. Yeah, I love him with all my heart. I don't have anger for him. He was damaged.
yes, and that type of pain, that it was kind of like an outlet for him.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make it right,
No, I
but
know.
still,
I always understood it, even as a little kid. I got it, I knew it.
So to release that, because you already have the understanding, to break that chain going forward for you, they already have done what they've done, and they have their own karma that they have to live, but you're old enough now to defend yourself.
I think the main issue for me is I felt it was my job to save them all. I remember being a little girl and trying to figure out how to live in this house, probably like 7 or 8 years old, and I thought that I could heal them if I could just be love and light. So I went out and like just picked all these flowers and filled the house with flowers. And so no matter what they would do, I would never get angry. I would always forgive them, but I'd always feel like it was if I loved them enough, I could make this go away. And I'm realizing that's not true. It's ridiculous, but I think that's something that is, I feel it with my son too, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big thing, I think.
So do you feel like you're powerless?
Not in my own life, but, and I know I can't really help anyone else in that way. I know it's illogical and like magical thinking from when I was a kid, but it's still just kind of like my go-to reflex. I'm trying to work on not doing that, you know?
Right. Because the only one that, I mean, you were saying here is divine energy. We all were, right? But these things happen, and they happen when we don't feel like we're in control, which is what makes people uh, victimize us, is because you're not old enough to defend yourself. And they're strong enough, big enough, strong enough to take advantage of that. So as we move through life and we keep pulling that past into our present, it's going to color our future.
Right.
And you have the power right now in this moment to shift that if you'd like to.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I'm going to ask the group again, is it okay to do some EFT with this?
Sure.
Okay. And is it okay with you that we do EFT?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So you're going to hear a buzz in here for a second. I'm going to charge my phone. I'm living on the road, so I have that thing going on. I don't know if I can set this thing up so I can use it here. I might have to, I don't want to hold it. I don't want my phone to overheat. So, and that's what it's been doing lately when I've been on the road. My phone overheats, but that's my issue. So let's take some time here. And I think I want to do some breaths first. We're going to do 5. We're going to go in through the nose. We're going to hold. This is nothing new for you, I'm sure. Now, when we inhale, that is fight or flight. When we exhale, it's rest, digest, and heal. So we want to exhale longer than we inhale. Okay. And as we do, we want to bring those emotions up and let them go because they're not serving us. All right. So we're going to start with 5 breaths. We're going to inhale through the nose. We're going to hold. So let's inhale. And we're going to exhale through the mouth. And we're going to go, which is the heart sound. And you're probably already familiar with that. All right. So inhale. And just feel your whole body relax. Deeper and deeper into relaxation as you exhale. Shoulders drop. Head relaxes. Face relaxes. Neck, chest, back relaxes. Inhale through the nose. And just go deeper and deeper into relaxation. And we exhale. I am a survivor. You can say that. I am a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
Inhale through the nose. With every breath, my body goes deeper and deeper into relaxation.
With every breath, my body goes deeper and deeper into relaxation.
It feels so good just to let go.
Feels so good just to let go.
Okay, 2 more. Inhale. And just relax. Inhale. My voice gets stronger with every breath.
My voice gets stronger with every breath.
Exhale. Back to normal breathing. Okay, we're going to be tapping same spots we just did with Donna. So yeah, it's up to you. Whatever you feel comfortable with. I do one side, but if you want to do two sides, do two. Okay. All right. So I'm not a victim
I'm not a victim
of my past.
of my past.
I'm a survivor
I'm a survivor
of my past.
of my past.
And even though it was painful
And even though it was painful,
and I tried my best
and I tried my best
to solve that situation,
just to solve that situation,
it was stronger than I was.
it was stronger than I was.
So I choose to let it go.
So I choose to let it go.
I choose to let the emotions go
Choose to let the emotions go
that have haunted me my whole life.
that have haunted me my whole life.
I don't need those emotions anymore.
I don't need those emotions anymore.
I never did need those emotions.
I never did need those emotions.
It made me feel sick.
It made me feel sick.
It still makes me feel sick,
Still makes me feel sick.
but I'm not sick.
But I'm not sick.
I'm a beautiful,
I'm a beautiful,
heartfelt
heartfelt
woman
woman
who has done her best
who has done her best
throughout her life
throughout her life
to help as many people
to help as many people
as she can,
as she can,
to relieve to relieve the tension
relieve the tension
of their lives,
of their lives,
which makes me feel whole and complete.
which makes me feel whole and complete.
That's why I teach.
That's why I teach.
That's why I share.
That's why I share.
Now it's my turn
Now it's my turn
to take all the things that I have taught people
to take all the things that I've taught people
and internalize it
and internalize it
into my own life,
into my own life,
to release all the pain,
to release all of the pain,
all the chaos
all the chaos
from my body
in my body
from this day forth.
from this day forward.
Inhale through the nose and hold it. And exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. I am willing
I'm willing
and I am able
and I am able
to step into my divine energy,
to step into my divine energy,
the pure light
the pure light
that has shined within me
that shined within me
my whole life.
my whole life.
And no matter how hard
No matter how hard
they tried to dim that light,
they tried to dim that light,
it's still shining through
it's still shining through
because I am that light.
because I am that light.
I am that love.
I am that love.
It's what I share
It's what I share
with the world.
with the world.
My past has never helped me,
My past has never helped me,
so I choose to let it go.
so I choose to let it out.
With every breath I take,
With every breath I take,
my mind gets clearer.
my mind gets clearer.
My body heals deep within.
My body heals deep within.
deep within my soul.
deep within my soul.
I am stronger
I am stronger
than my past.
than my past.
I don't need that fear.
I don't need that fear.
I don't need that pain.
I don't need that pain.
That was their pain,
That was their pain,
projected onto me
projected onto me
because I didn't know how to defend myself.
because I didn't know how to defend myself.
But I kept trying
But I kept trying
because I'm a warrior
because I'm a warrior
and I believe in myself
and I believe in myself
and my ability
and my ability
to move forward
to move forward
from this day forward.
from this day forward.
Every moment
Every moment
that passes, I get stronger.
that passes, I get stronger.
My breath gets clearer.
My breath gets clearer.
My voice gets stronger.
My voice gets stronger.
My body gets stronger.
My body gets stronger.
My body gets healthier
My body gets healthier
because my body must do what I tell it,
because my body must do what I tell it,
which is how I got into yoga.
which is how I got into yoga.
And I started sharing
And I started sharing
the wisdom
the wisdom
of a ancient form of movement
of an ancient form of movement
and breath
and breath
that sets people free,
that sets people free,
including me,
including me,
because I am worth it.
because I am worth it.
I am a survivor.
I am a survivor.
I am a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
My strength
My strength
is the fact that I survived,
is the fact that I survived,
and I will thrive in the future.
and I will thrive in the future.
Okay, deep breath. I can feel it right here.
Mm-hmm.
And with every breath, I release the tension of my past.
With every breath, I release the tension of my past.
Feels so good to be free.
Feels so good to be free.
Feels so good to be me.
Feels so good to be me.
When I think of that little girl that
When I,
couldn't defend herself,
when I think of that little girl who couldn't thank herself,
defend herself.
defend herself, yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to reach down inside my body and take her hand
I'm going to reach down inside my body and take her hand
and tell her it's okay,
and tell her it's okay,
that it's safe,
that it's safe,
because she's with me now.
because she's with me now.
I will protect her,
I will protect her.
and we're going to have some fun.
We're going to have some fun.
And we're going to do what we want
And we're going to do what we want
without the burden of the past.
without the burden of the past.
We're going to laugh
We're going to laugh
and play
and play
and explore
and explore
and be curious,
and be curious,
because together
because together
we're going to change the world.
we're going to change the world.
And it starts with me.
And it starts with me.
Deep breath through the nose. And exhale. Just going deeper and deeper into relaxation. I can feel the energy building. Just let it go. It's right there. Just blow it out. Tell it to get out of your body. Get out of my body.
Get out of my body.
I don't need you anymore.
I don't need you anymore.
I'm moving on
I'm moving on
because I'm stronger than my past.
because I'm stronger than my past.
This time, that little girl in me
Time that little girl in me
had some fun
had some fun.
to laugh and play and be curious and explore the new possibilities in life.
To laugh and explore the new possibilities in life.
That's my promise
That's my promise
to myself.
to myself.
As my body relaxes,
As my body relaxes,
all the dis-ease
all the dis-ease
that I've experienced,
that I've experienced,
past and present,
past and present,
is released
is released
through my breath,
through my breath,
through my actions,
my actions,
through my laughter,
through my laughter,
through my curiosity.
through my curiosity.
Deep breath through the nose. Hold it. And just let it go. Okay, how does that feel?
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. But as you work with people, allow that energy that you're projecting out to seep back in. And we don't need to guard ourselves anymore, you know. And I'm still getting like little electrical shocks here. And this releases is what it is. But try stretching in areas that you haven't, that you found difficult to
Yeah.
see. Can you do that now?
Yeah, actually, it does feel better. It was like just like surface burning on my skin, you know?
Yeah, that's nerves.
Yeah. I have I'm guessing, my son, I love him dearly, of course, but
Yeah.
when he becomes very sick, he becomes very much like my dad. So it's like living with him again. So I think
Okay.
all of that kind of just really just involuntary kind of probably contractions and who knows what.
Yes.
But I
And
feel different, so that's
yeah.
awesome.
Do you do any shaking in your yoga? Like shaking of the body, the hands, the
I do after my breath work. It's not part of the yoga, but it's the only thing that seems to make this stuff move.
right.
It's shaking. And
That's exactly right.
yeah.
Because when the body gets sick, it shakes.
Oh, yes,
It's
right.
trying to shake it off.
Okay,
So rather than wait for it, just
right.
shake,
Okay,
just all over, whole body, and
right.
it will change so many things, especially when you add the breath into it and you're releasing the past. You're not a victim. You are a survivor, a powerful woman with great energy and love, wanting to serve the world. And as you do that, your body's going to get stronger, your mind's going to get clearer, your voice, you'll be able to speak with a lot more power and clarity.
Right. Yeah, I can feel it's like so grainy and soft right now.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you can go back and go through this
Okay.
video and keep doing the EFT and allowing your body to relax. And I'm serious, take that little girl that lives inside you and go have some fun. Find things, yeah, find things to laugh about, just to play. And I mean, that's where I've started to release a lot of my past is, you know, stopping on the side of the road. There's two dinosaurs, and I took a picture of them and posted it, and to have fun,
Right.
because sometimes childhood's not so fun.
Right. I
And
know.
so thank you for doing this
Thank
with
you
me.
so much. This was very helpful. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and I hope you have a blessed and very successful future. from this moment on.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know she will.
Yes. She's very powerful.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you, Gary, again.
Thank you,
Now,
Toni.
it may seem that we didn't really stick with the topic of the podcast, but actually we do, because it's what Gary is relating to. So much of our pain is emotional. So often that is the long-term pain, and the reason that our body cannot heal, because we keep hanging on to it. And I know for me personally, that is the case too, because I have a lot of traumas. And when I was listening to Sue and to Donna, it's like, hey, did we grow up the same families? What is this? So many things are I recognize. And when you say, Gary, the child I have not been a child. When I was that age, I could not be a child. So with the sexual abuse from my father, and my mother apparently condoned it, and always putting me down, my relief was my fairy tale books. I could read at a very young age, and that was all I did. That was my world. And then you step out and you realize that the world is quite different than what you read in the book. Although those fairy tale books are pretty grim too.
No, they can be.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
I grew up not being able to read or write, so I never got to read any of those books.
Yeah, I did. Well, anything that I could put my hands on, I did, in the reading. And according to my mother, I could read when I was 5. I don't even know who taught me. And but yes, I read a lot of books, and that was my world. And then you have to start living in the real world, and it was not a good place. I had a beautiful therapist, and I still sent people to her because she was the first one who could help me connect to that little girl inside. And she mentioned, what was your happy place as a child? And I was like, yeah, well, those were all my books. Well, when did you laugh? Laugh? Had nothing to laugh about. Okay, and then she was very patient, and she kept asking me things, and then we got to a point. Okay, what was the place that you like to go to and you felt happy, safe, relaxed? And all of a sudden, that place popped up in my mind, and she said, "That is the place that where you go to, and and be the child." But when I was a young mom, my daughter was born when I was 19, and at 7 years old, I tried to be that child with her, because when you have a young child, it's much easier. And I remember she was probably 7 years old, and there were a lot of puddles, and I love puddles. I need to step in it. Even now, I need to step in it. But I stepped in it hard, so she got, wet, and she was embarrassed, and she said, "Mom, behave." And I was, behave? From my 7-year-old daughter? Who taught her that? Not me. That's a funny thing to remember. Yeah, I still know exactly. I remember things as if a movie is played in front of me. That's always nice, because I can see exactly how everything looks, what clothes I was wearing, how her expression was in my responses. That's a nice way to remember things in your life. The good things. But to talk a little bit more about the pain, and for me, what I experienced, I would sure expect it to be in a short-term time that I am in pain, and right now I'm not doing anything for it. But I was looking up on herbs and what they do, and oh, I have to say I did use something that Dr. Morse actually had, and that was Spasm Calm,
Mhm.
and I think that helped me a lot, in the body, the muscles, etc., relaxing. But there are a lot of herbs that can actually help. It is only don't use them long term. Don't use them as if, it's a treatment, because it's not healing. It's like, but I had an article and I just posted in our group. I think I have to promote my own group a little bit more. And thank you, Gary, for sending people there.
Mhm.
And it's called Dr. Morse's Fans Fun with Detox, aka Healing. The title will change soon, but for now, this is the easiest way to find it. Dr. Morse's Fans Fun with Detox, aka Healing. So I do post a lot of things there, positive things. You can post your own questions there. There are more counselors in the group, but I have not set up anything where people can actually promote their business, because I think, hey, it's my group. So
Yes,
I can promote myself as a counselor.
that's right.
And you, Gary, because you do awesome work. For people
Oh,
who
thank
don't
you.
know, we have set up a way where you can get your own, at least an hour-long personalized video with Gary and myself, but it's Gary who does all the talking and teaching. And you can, so I have set that up. If anyone is interested, send me an email. You can still find it on a website, but I'm going to get away from that system. So just let me know if you are interested. Then you would have your own personal video that is not shared with anyone. So you can talk about anything and everything on there, and then work on the tapping, maybe even moving, and the breath work, and that will all be personalized to you, the same way that Gary now did for Sue and for Donna, but then, longer, maybe even more in depth, going more into the traumas that you experienced in your life. And yeah, going back to the quick solutions for helping out, I do believe that Spasm Calm absolutely helped me. It's a Dr. Morse's Spasm Calm. I will probably post a link in the group.
Did you take
Uh,
that like 3 times a day, or how did you take it?
I'm sorry?
How often did you take it? Did you take it 3 times a day or just for pain?
Yeah, I have been taking it 3 times a day, unless I forget, which always happens when I have to take something. But I did 3 times a day, and I do feel that it helped me through the night, it helped me sleep. And so I still take it, but probably in a week I will stop with it.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then go from there and see how it goes. See, I cannot say that is the one. See, that is always the thing. You take something and then it's like, oh, that must have helped. But now what if you had not taken it? What would have happened then? Now I don't know, because I started taking it. So maybe my body would have healed without that. I don't know. And that is
Uh,
the same, that's the same with all the herbs. Go ahead,
yeah,
Gary.
it would heal, but not as fast.
Right, right. Well,
So it's in the relaxation that releases the pain. That's why things like marijuana works, but it's not good to smoke marijuana, and it's not its side effect is it gets rid of the pain. It doesn't heal anything.
no, and that is the thing with only the body can heal, and
Right.
there are a lot of misconceptions about that. That healing food, healing herbs, healing this. It's like, no, you create the perfect conditions for your body to heal. And that's your goal. That is what you need to
Right.
do. And
And
are the perfect conditions a water fast? For me, it's easy. So for me, that works. With Donna, I understand that you are hesitant to do that, but it is like you try something out, and if it works for a day, usually 3 days would be the best to do, because then you get the best results. And if that means that you have to stay in bed for 3 days and be miserable, well, you're miserable now, so might as well. But it's I cannot, I would not tell Sue to do that, for instance. I think you lost already enough weight as it is, and for you at this point, and we already discussed that, is to add some greens to your diet regimen. I still have to get away from that word diet. I don't like it. Can we figure out another word for diet? Daily food.
Healthy eating program.
Yeah, healthy eating program. Yeah. Well, how many times, Gary, have you not heard from someone when you ask them, what exactly are you eating? Oh, I eat healthy.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, now what exactly do you eat? And then all kinds of stuff comes up that is promoted as being healthy, even including the fake meats or the chicken or the whatever it is. It's for them considered healthy. And then I have to, blow that. How do you say that? That bubble, blow that bubble. Anyway, that it is not healthy foods. It's not food that is meant for us. And then we go in explaining why not. But it is a tough thing for people to take, and lately I've seen clients with severe mental problems and who have been actually misdiagnosed, and people who have used psychedelics and then get misdiagnosed that they are schizophrenic because they had a response to the psychedelics. There's a lot going on, in people's lives. And I too often see medication, or I should say pharmaceuticals. I don't even want to use the word medication. Pharmaceuticals that cause more problems than they solve. Well, actually, they never solve any problem. But the side effects of most pharmaceuticals, or may I say all, is worse than the initial symptom that you thought you could, fix with that pharmaceutical.
Yeah, the pharmaceutical usually what it's designed to help over long term destroys exactly what it was there to help in the first place. It'll weld tissue together. It'll all kinds of stuff. But it ends up being a burden because you're on it too long, and they want you on it for a long time because it's passive income for them.
Yeah,
And
but I see people who have been put on a pharmaceutical that is only for short-term use.
right.
If you look it up on the internet, first thing they say, only for short-term use, and then they have been on it for 6 years.
Yeah, I saw one. It was an ad, and I didn't get to write down the name of the drug. It's a new one, and it's for people with heart issues. And the side effect is severe heart attack and death. That's one of them. That's one.
Exactly,
Uh,
yeah, and they have to say that. And the one that I am referring to is actually for psychosis, and then one of the side effects causes psychosis. I'm like,
mhm.
okay, that makes sense. Not. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's and but still with the pain, I think I put a lot of information now in the group. We now know how to deal with long-term pain, because as long as you do not take care of the emotions, and I'm an example of that because I've tried anything and everything, and I do pretty good on all fruit. But if it is 100%, no, I need to deal with certain things. And yes, Gary, and one of these days we will set up a session with you.
All right. All right. And uh, you know, the mind will produce drugs that make morphine look like candy.
Hmm.
And as we learn to meditate and breathe and use our body's a tuning fork. And as we learn to get that vibration under control, we control every aspect of our life, every emotion, everything. Um, it's really difficult for the body to be in a situation where pain is involved because the body's alkaline and our breath will take the pain away. It is amazing what it will do. And and I've been doing this for a while, but just like every day I'm learning new things like our fingerprint. Well, that's a diversion. These are electrical grids. The energy, the electrical energy in our body comes out through our fingertips. And I don't touch my fingertips together on camera because I get pretty, it's probably okay, but they're very powerful. And to connect your thumb and your finger together, you're awakening different electrical systems in the body. And through the breath, because energy flows where attention goes, as you touch your first finger and your thumb together, and even right there, I can feel it start to build. So just a minute. So this is what happens when I have a breakthrough: is I laugh and I can't stop laughing. So
Well, I like that a lot better than the crying. I'm gonna put that out there.
Good. Put it out there and become it. When something comes up that makes you sad or whatever, laughter is the best medicine. And it is so powerful. And but remember, these are electrical grids that run certain different sections of our body. And this is what the masters that lived in the caves, that's what they understood,
I'm
is
guessing
you
that's
can,
what the mudras are, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. And you're awakening different electrical parts of your body. And that is so important. And then with the breath, because your first breath is in, it turns the electrical system on and gives you life. You can't be here without it. And the last one is out, and that's when the energy goes back to source and the body stays here. And so it's so important to really understand that when we go to the medical system, we're looking for something outside our body to fix us, when everything is right here. The heart generates energy and the mind uses a lot. And when our heart's sick, it causes chaos in the mind. And it comes out because what's between the mind and the heart is the voice. And the voice, the words, are quantum energy. So we're speaking light and darkness into our life every day simply by the words we choose to speak and the intention that we put on those words. So it's extremely important to realize your story and what you're telling yourself and what you're telling others, because it is causing the experience that you're having in your life right now. I mean, it's I don't know, I get messages all the time. The fingerprint thing came to me yesterday. When we, it's almost like everything we're taught is backwards.
It is.
And because it's backwards, we have a hard time trying to figure out what's going on when really everything involves the heart. If you take the H off in heart and put it on the other end, it's earth. And within the word heart is ear, because the heart is always listening. And there's art in the word heart. So when we break the words down, it's our art, it's our listening ability, it's our passion, it's our connection to the earth. The heart, the frequency of the heart is 528, which is green. Well, what's nature? It's green. It's highway 528, as my friend Brian taught me. We were just walking one day and he said, "Hey, look, we were in a real small area with a lot of trees." He goes, "We're on highway 528. And that's why it feels so good to go for a walk in nature. And we're not grounding anymore. We need to ground our bodies to the earth. The earth has a negative electromagnetic field. Our red blood cells carry a negative electromagnetic charge. So if they get sticky and we don't feel well, within 10 seconds of touching the earth with our bare feet or working in the garden, working with our hands, all the red blood cells get a negative electromagnetic charge, and they all separate so they can flow freely through the body. And it's just these.
Hey, Gary, I have to. You're already with Sarah had to leave, Donna had to leave. No,
Oh,
Katie,
okay.
we didn't
I
even
could
give
listen to you
time to
forever,
speak.
Gary.
Yeah, Katie already left, and she said great show. We have to stick with that 1.5 hour, and we already over
Okay.
it. And at least
Yes.
save something for next week.
All right.
Because you always come up with something new, and I absolutely loved it that Donna and Sue were on, and Sue, we can learn from you too. Did I
Yeah.
see you mentioned in your studio that you had like sound or singing bowls?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see my head. Crystal bowls
I thought I saw something.
and
Yeah.
Tibetan bowls and 3 big gongs, and they're absolutely just beautiful.
Maybe you can sometime explain about that and do something with it on the podcast.
Yeah, we could do a sound bath. That would
Sure,
be
other
awesome.
people would like to learn that too. I really enjoyed it again. Gary, you're awesome.
Yeah, you are
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you. And thank you,
Thank
Toni.
you. Keep
And
smiling. It makes them nervous.
yeah, yeah. And I would say till the next time, love to everyone who was listening is still going to listen, and beautiful. Have a beautiful day with a lot of smiles and joy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.